Hey, I just got a new tank for my vape and I'm really happy with it, so I thought I'd do another video real quick. First thing, I got this Lotus tank off the internet. I found them online for about $3 or $4. They have a bottom loading so you screw the bottom off it, and then you would fill this up in here, screw it back together, your elements in here. And this little unit I thought was good because it produced lots of vapor, but the taste always was a little funny. And I used blueberry to sweeten my tincture, so this obviously is burning wrong or something. So I went down to my local vapor store and I bought the tank of the year, the aspire-nautilus. It comes in this fancy package. You can see it here with the white sleeve. I'll explain that in a second. There was an extra filament here. This is a ring, an adapter ring, so that if you put it on smaller batteries, it funnels out. It's a really nice, beautiful thing. The tank on its own seems really nice. It's heavy duty, it's glass, and it holds 5 milliliters, which, if you know, like this is, I think, 1.5. This is 1.5. This is 5. Okay, so I thought, great, less I have to load. It has this removable, nice metal tip. Top screws off, bottom screws off. This is an adjustable air hole. It has, I'm trying to get it without that glare. It's kind of hard to see, but it has 4 sizes. At first I thought it was a great tank. Maybe for e-liquid it would be a great tank, because e-liquid, I've noticed, is very thin. I burned out the first BDC, the bottom dual coil element, within 2 or 3 days. I went online, I found out that these had a problem with them. They're not burning properly. The elements are bad in some of them. They've updated them in the new elements if you buy elements online. So I put the other element in, and it was hitting okay, but what I would have to do is plug the hole and then pull in really hard to try and get juice to suck through into the heating coil. I don't know if this is just a difference between the e-liquid and the tincture, or if this is actually something with the coil. I am going to get a replacement coil and give it another shot, because a great big tank is really nice if you go out on long trips. The smaller tanks, I'll show you my new tank. It holds a little bit less than this one, and I'm actually blowing through it. One thing I did want to show you with this is the bottom element. I'm going to actually take it apart. Or maybe not. I'll have to get pliers and take it apart at a later time. One of the other benefits of tincture, you don't get sick if you lick it. That was tobacco e-liquid. I would be getting, probably my mouth would be hurting right now and I might get sick, but this is good old medical tincture. Okay, so that's the aspire-nautilus. For an e-liquid tank, I would say it's probably a good tank. But then I went down to the store, and I'm not going to give the store props. I'm not going to tell you the name of the store or how much I paid for the products, because I do my research online and I know I overpay for these items. the benefit for me is I'm able to go down and look through the different tanks, look at the different elements before I actually buy it. Now that I've purchased this one, I know about it. I will order more of them online, everything online where it's cheaper. I like to try and order through the company if I can. If not, I try and find a good online business. Here's my new tank. It's the KangerTech Mini ProTank 3. It's a bottom loading tank. It does have a dual bottom coil. Here's the box it comes in. Nothing fancy. This one happens to be a 1.5 ohm. And I have it actually turned all the way up. I can turn it all the way down. The reason why I say this is a good tank over these other tanks is this is the first time I've truly tasted my tincture. No burn, no aftertaste, no marshmallowy taste, no harsh taste, no heat, no fire. All I'm tasting is the tincture and the blueberry. And actually I'm finding out that I put way too much blueberry flavoring in it, and it's actually too much blueberry. The vape shop I go to in town, they sell the flavors. It's like 5 milliliter bottle of just clear liquid with flavoring in it. Probably PG, I would guess. And I added the whole thing in here, and now it's like bubble gum. I'm using it on a standard KangerTech EVOD VV. It's the big boy. It's a 600 or 1600 variable volt. I might go into mods later. I don't know. Right now, this one is perfectly fine for me. That's just a straight puff hit. I took a breath of air in to fill it out. If I want to, I can blow a pretty good vapor. It's really not, you can see it's floating around in here. If I didn't have a fan going right next to me, because it's like hot here, you would really see it does produce a nice thick full vapor. And this was full 2 hours ago. This tank, and even this tank, I would fill it and I would go a day before I had to add more to it. The level was not even going down. This one, I'm actually getting the flavor through. So if you're looking for a vape tip, you're just getting into vaping, you don't want to spend a lot of money, and you want to start using tinctures that you can get at your local store, dispensary. If you live in Colorado or Washington, your local store. Hopefully the rest of the nation will fall soon. You get the tincture. It's already based in a glycerin. You can add a little flavoring to it or just take it straight. And it's different, but it's good. And a bottle like this at my dispensary goes for 20 bucks. 30 milliliters. It's a really good deal, and with this particular tank, you just can't go wrong. I will say that you can probably get this tank, it's the KangerTech Mini ProTank 3. You should be able to get it online for about 10 bucks or so, maybe a little more with shipping. Filling it is very easy. It also has a replaceable coil, so if the coil does go bad in it, let me take my battery off first. Now my fingers are all slippery from the glycerin. Got to be careful because the tank actually does screw out as well. It's a glass tank. Okay, so this bottom part screws off. Okay, as you can see, there's a nice little O-ring right here. You can see the line of white, the plastic on top. There's string through it, and it soaks. And then the two coils are down inside this little tiny hole here. Bottom has the rest of the hole. This screws out, and then you can buy other to screw in and replace it. To fill it, all you do is take this, get your bottle. Now I have a tincture bottle, and what I did is I went and bought one of those no nicotine e-liquids down at the corner store, and the liquid was disgusting. It tasted nasty, so I just dumped it out, and then I filled it with my tincture at the store. That way I've got this nice little fill tip, which comes in handy because you're trying to fill inside there and miss that center hole. Because if you get it down the center hole, it's really no big deal. It just pours out the bottom and drips on the floor and stuff. So put your nozzle up against the side of the tank and just give it a squeeze. When you fill it, you want to fill it all the way up. To right before the top of that metal ring. You don't have to fill it that full. You can fill it less if you don't want to fill it that full. I don't like filling my tank a lot. I'd rather just fill it once or twice and be good. You screw the bottom on. The nice thing I like about this is when it's screwed tight, it sits flush. You can't see that O-ring. The O-ring goes up inside. So you tighten it up as tight as it'll go, and there's no doubt, is it tight enough? Because it won't go any further. There you go. Kanger Mini ProTank 3. Kanger battery, the two pair work great. If you're looking for the big clouds like you see on the competitions, and yeah, there's competitions, or you go on YouTube videos and you see these guys that are, that's when you get into the modding, customizing it. You take out the restrictions, you take out the, basically you just take a battery and put the positive side up against the bottom of the tank and connect the bottom to a negative and start hitting. And I don't judge, don't get me wrong, but studies have come out that these do produce formaldehyde when they burn. It's the glycerin that does. So even a tincture produces the formaldehyde. The good thing is, if you run it at an average battery, you know, like a regular battery is 3.7. If you go up between 3.7 and 4, you still produce 800 times less formaldehyde than if you were smoking a cigarette. If you were to take that out and turn it way up, you still produce less formaldehyde than a cigarette, even if you burst it all the way up. Cigarettes are just bad for you. But I do want to say that there is some formaldehyde that is produced by it. Other than that, you know, and when I say formaldehyde, it's not like smoking a cigarette dipped in formaldehyde or anything like that. It is such a minuscule amount that it doesn't even bother. Like I said, cigarette smoke produces more chemicals and more formaldehyde than glycerin does at the highest temperature. So if you smoke cigarettes, please switch to an e-liquid. It is healthier for you. Don't let the hype scare you and all these people saying, oh, you know, they've proven it's bad for your health and blah, blah, blah. It's still healthier than a cigarette, okay? That's my rant. Anyway, I just really like this tank. if you can get one and you want to try tincture vaporizing, this battery and this tank you can get online, the whole set, for probably 20 bucks. Maybe 30 if you go to a high place that charges you shipping. Not high-end parts, but good quality. This battery runs me all day. I charge it at night and I run it all day, and I constantly pull on it. And now that I realize that my element was burned out in my aspire-nautilus, I know that I was using a lot more juice than I should have been, so my battery's even going to last longer now. Got any questions? Leave some comments. Thanks.